We're, of course, here to talk about what you're experiencing as a result of these clearly illegal actions that have been taken by the Trump administration and the Elon Musk DOGE operation. Let me also thank those who are gathered here today who are helping serve our veterans right now in advocacy groups that are helping make sure that we address these issues. So let me just make a couple points and then really want to hear, from all of you. Number one, and I think the country is really beginning to wake up to this fact, the federal government has been well served not only by people who chose to serve our country in uniform, but we've made a very deliberate effort to also hire veterans for federal government work and duties. In fact, there are over 700,000 veterans across the country who are working right now for the federal government, 40,000 here in the state of Maryland. And if you look nationally at the 700,000 veterans, we've also worked to make sure that people who are disabled as a result of service to the country are given opportunities. And so about 300,000 of those 700,000 are disabled vets. Again, working in a different capacity now, but still working for their country. And on top of that, there are also many veteran-owned small businesses and small businesses that are owned by people who've been disabled through their service. So this is why I think all of us have been very, very upset, angry about the way so many of our veterans have been treated. I've been upset about how all patriotic federal employees have been treated, but veterans have been, as I said, a very important part of that workforce and are really being hit hard. So as of today, we believe that 6,000 veterans across the country have lost their jobs.
As a probationary employee, my service to the agency and my ongoing commitment to our nation's interests are suddenly deemed not in the public interest. What does that say about my service in Kuwait, Iraq, Kosovo, and other locations? Does that count for nothing? Did I ever once complain about deploying during my 24 years of service? No, not a single time. In the short 7 months I've spent as a federal employee, I've made a tangible impact. I've shaped international food safety standards, collaborating with other government agencies, industry experts, and global organizations to ensure that U.S. food safety policies are effectively represented in international discussions. My work involves providing data-driven insights, facilitating key meetings, and building essential partnerships that support global food safety and fair trade. And so now, the VA is under threat. The country that so many veterans have served is now gutting the very agency that was created to take care of us.
Thank you for being here to tell that story, because people throughout Maryland, throughout the country, need to know exactly what's happening.
The transition out of the military is very, very difficult because the military, being a Marine, being an airman, being a soldier, whatever, it's not a job. It's your life. And so when you change your whole life to now fit into the civilian world, it presents so many challenges. And the VA's helped support me with education benefits. I was able to get health care. I was able to get mental health support. And I don't know where I would be without that support, genuinely. So to be laid off from my job, supporting that mission and ensuring that VA healthcare providers know about all of the different projects and programs that the VA has to offer to make veteran healthcare better. I know that the VA is not a perfect institution. I do not believe that indiscriminately laying off all of these people, contractors, federal employees, 80,000 more by the summer, is going to make anything better for any veteran anywhere.
After leaving the Army, I began my federal service because I could no longer serve the military. When I first joined, I took the oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I reaffirmed that same oath upon entering federal service. It is unthinkable to see the very principles I promised to defend my country is being disregarded, especially by the Commander-in-Chief. With 34 counts of guilt concerning actions that impact veterans, it feels like those in power are living comfortably while exploiting the sacrifices of veterans. I have dedicated my life to serving my country, just as many of my comrades have. With nearly 30 years of combined service, I chose to stand my ground, honoring the oath I took. Instead, facing challenges head on, I encountered betrayal, particularly with the push for the DRP and the Voluntary Early Retirement Authority, which to me lacks a legitimate legislative basis. I speak for myself, but many veterans are fed up with the radical changes in our government and economy. And as Reverend Al Sharpton said, we will not endure the pain if no one bothers to explain what we stand to gain. And Republicans who choose to ignore the electoral will clearly hear our voices during the midterm elections.
Well, thank you for your service again in the military, and thank you for what you've been doing at the Department of Veterans Affairs. And it is, as you say, what's happening is a great betrayal of people who served our country, continue to serve our country, and whose oath is to the Constitution.